Yeah, so back again. Week 2, well, technically it's week 3 of training in Thailand, but week 2 on video. And first session of the week, calves, chest, shoulders, and triceps. So yeah, horizontal calf press again. Great alternative to a standing calf raise, where you can fully extend at the knees and hit the gastroc and the soleus really well. And yeah, got pretty much rep match sets on this, 4 sets, so better get it started. And the seat is way too far forward. There's definitely a manlet on here before me. Alright. And that is too far back. Where's... Alright, this might be the Goldilocks zone. So last set I actually moved the seat a notch forward. Felt a lot harder, felt a lot better, but I was a little bit weaker. So I did try to rep match the first set, but I think because the first set was a little bit easier due to not getting as much of a stretch with the seat further back, I'm better off aiming to match the reps of set number 2, which is the one I just did, which was 2 less reps, so 15 instead of 17. So I aim to rep match 15 reps for the next 2 working sets at 210 pounds, which is the weight that I've been using. And I call it at that, and then it'll be on to chest. God damn. Calf punch is unreal on these. Whew. Take back what I said the other day about standing calf raise being my favourite variation. I think this trumps standing calf raise, to be honest. You can really isolate the calves a lot better. Yeah. Three to go. God damn it. Whew. These are way harder than I expected. Exercise number 1 for chest. I didn't record this last week purely because I just forgot to, but this was the first chest exercise of the first session of the new training split. But yeah, it wasn't in the last video because I just simply forgot to record it. But 2 sets of 12 to 15 on this, and then into the incline pressing and the decline pressing. But I'm still keeping it somewhat conservative on this exercise, guys. Like, I'm not training super hard or super close to failure, purely because I'm still quite early in the post-pec tear stage, like 3 or so weeks post-pec tear, so I don't want to be pushing things super hard or back at full capacity yet, but still training somewhat hard. And the reps are still involuntarily getting a little bit slower toward the end of the set, so like they're unintentionally they're not deliberately getting slower because I'm making them slower, they're getting slower because it's getting more difficult toward the end of the set. So still hard sets, still effective reps essentially, but just a little bit more sub-maximal to not push the chest too much that it re-tears or I re-injure myself. But I guess it's a good indicator. Like, if you think how these next few sets look, if you think that they look hard and they're not conservative, then you probably need to reevaluate your own training intensity. You're probably not training as hard as you think you are, because at the end of the day, the reps should be slowing down toward like lockout or just in the exertion of the reps. So like for presses, that's the press. For rows and pull downs, that's the pull. It should be getting slower progressively as the reps continue in the working set. If the last rep of the set isn't slower, noticeably slower than the first rep, or even like the third rep before that last rep, then you're not training hard enough. You're training like a little pussy. You need to probably up your game a little bit, but also keep technique in check when you do that. Like, going to failure or close to failure, in my opinion, is only done correctly when you keep your form in check, when your reps look pretty much identical from the start to the end of the set. Sure, a little bit of form degradation is unavoidable, but try to keep it very, very minimal. Incline press. This is probably the heaviest chest exercise of the session, so got to be careful. So I got 10 on that. Rep range for this exercise is 6 to 10. I'm definitely not increasing the load, that's for sure, but whether I shoot for 10 reps or not, again, even though I know I've got it in me, that's going to be up to question. It will depend on how this set feels. Because, like I said, I do want to play it conservatively, so if leaving a couple reps in the tank means getting, say, 8 reps instead of 10 on this set, then so be it, or even 7 or 6. I'll do whatever's required, essentially, to leave a couple reps in the tank. That's set number 2. Yep, 7 reps. It's funny, as you get older, more experience, you care a whole lot less about what other people think of you in the gym. I remember when I first started lifting, it was almost like I had a chip on my shoulder and I had to prove to the others in the gym that I could lift a heavy weight or like keep up with them, and even if it meant my technique went a little bit to shit. But now I just really don't give a flying fuck what weight is on the bar or on the machine. As long as I can get a good contraction, get close to failure within the prescribed rep range, I couldn't care any less if I was using 25-pound plate aside or 3 45s aside. It's just that the weight at the end of the day is irrelevant to a degree. And when I say irrelevant to a degree, I mean the weight that you're moving, the load that you're moving, it's still relevant. Like, you want the load to be increasing in general over time on every movement that you're doing, every lift that you're doing in your training, but it doesn't need to be increasing every single goddamn week or even every single month sometimes. You could just progress reps throughout a 4 to 6 week period before even increasing the load, depending on how big the rep range is for the exercise and where you fall within that rep range at the current weight that you're using. You got a rep range of, say, 12 to 20, and you're only getting 12, 13 reps of the weight that you're using, you can probably keep that weight the same for 1 to 2 months and just progress reps. Like, it doesn't always have to be add more weight, but I think it's something that comes with time. Again, like, experience is something that can't be learnt like overnight. It's something that has to be experienced. Yeah. No real commentary for this one, just second heavy chest exercise of the session. Well, heavy-ish, 10 to 15 reps. But yeah, still keeping it conservative, like I said. 2 more sets to go with that. And then it's, I believe it should be onto shoulders, laterals, yeah. Just occurred to me that I forgot to bring a spare shirt, so looks like I'm wearing this shirt all the way back home. Walk to and from the gym, so it's like a 5-10 minute walk. But yeah, it's going to be a sweaty walk, that's for sure. That's the only, I suppose, negative about being over here is just the heat. Everything else has been positive, I've enjoyed it. But yeah, still adjusting to the climate. Temperature still gets me. Run out of EAA, so I figured I'd just chat a little bit while I make my next batch. Little cocaine bag that doesn't have cocaine in it, so I'm not that rich. And yeah, so let's talk to you about lifting. Something lifting related comes to mind. If not, I'll just delete this clip out of the video and you won't even see it. But yeah, like when it comes to training in a way that's conducive to your goals, like muscle growth, like I said, weight's relevant, but the most important factor is, so far as the literature suggests, and also anecdotal findings based on all the gym bros over the years, mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is most definitely the biggest contributing factor, so anything you can do to increase the amount of mechanical tension that you're yielding in your training session, like as a whole for a body part, is going to hypothetically increase the amount of growth that will occur in that muscle, provided that you can adequately recover from that. If you're creating more mechanical tension than you're capable of recovering from, then you'll regress. It'll result in a net muscular atrophy and potentially an injury down the track. But if you're recovering sufficiently and you're doing the most amount of work, yielding the most amount of mechanical tension you possibly can, while still recovering, you're going to progress faster than if you were to accumulate less, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of, I suppose, a low volume approach to training. If it's not done correctly, you don't get a lot of mechanical tension from it. It can be done effectively, don't get me wrong, like there's more than one way to skin a cat, and you can, the whole like low volume versus high volume argument's a little bit moot. It's a bit of a moot point because it has less to do with whether you're doing high volume or low volume, and more to do with how much mechanical tension you're getting in that session. If you can get the same amount of mechanical tension in less total sets as somebody who's doing more total sets, and say you get the same amount of effective reps, then you're going to progress just as much as the person doing high volume. But if you're not, then you're not. Like, so it's not as simple as high volume versus low volume. It's a lot more nuanced than that. That's why I've never liked that whole, I suppose, discussion or debacle of like, oh, are you pro high volume or pro low volume? It's almost as though you have to be pro one and anti the other, but I think they both have their place, the time and place. If done correctly, if executed correctly, and I suppose incorporated into one's training properly, they're both conducive to growth, they're both conducive to progress, but whether or not you're doing it right or fucking it up, that's another question. Right, final set. The only delt exercise of the session, or direct delt exercise I should say. Front delts still get hit in presses, but yeah, 4 sets, rep match sets, and rep range is 12 to 20. So I do 130 pound, and yeah. So to set the rep target for the rep match sets, you want to do continuous reps on the first set, no rest pausing, otherwise it just makes it unrealistically difficult on the following sets. So that's why I was just doing continuous reps, no pausing really. And if I did pause, it was at the hardest point, which is at the top. At least for this, I find it's a lot harder to pause at the top than it is to pause at the bottom. If I pause at the bottom, I can get more reps out. So yeah, 16 reps. So I'm gonna hit 16 on the next 3 sets. Formidable. Way too hot for the hat now. Hopefully you can still hear me fine on the mic here. It's attached to my sweaty ass shirt, but yeah. Just doing it triceps in this order instead of the other way around, simply just for efficiency purpose, so I don't have to wait for equipment. So I'll do this, then the piece of equipment I need should be free by the time I'm done, and then I can do the last exercise, which is consequentially meant to be before this one, but oh well. I'm going to try this final set with a seat one notch lower. So number 4 instead of number 5, which I've been doing for the other sets. Because I've got to check which number I had last week. And it feels pretty on the money, but I don't know if it could feel a little bit better or not. So I'm going to try seat height number 4. So this could be an absolute shit show of a set, or it could be a good set. Who knows? Definitely a lot better. So it's seat height number 4 I need. Way too light. At least the seat height's right there. Not that the weight's relevant or anything. I swear, people in this gym are morons. They think that they're ruining my recording by being loud and grunting. But little do they understand that I've actually got a microphone attached to me, so it doesn't really pick up much of what they're saying or doing. So I raise the seat up one notch, just so I can really hunch over on this set and try make it a little bit more tricep focused, and less trying to like stay in the actual seat focused. Oh, my abs are starting to cramp, so I might have to call it after this set. Skip the 4th set, see how we go. Actually, ooh. Oh yeah, ab cramp. If it doesn't settle down, I have to call it here, unfortunately. Because if anybody's ever had their abs cramp up on themselves, like fold in on themselves, it's excruciatingly painful, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Like before it cramps, it feels like there's like a baby literally kicking your abdomen. It's fucking weird. And then all of a sudden, bam, it just like spasms up and tightens up. If you ever experience that in any of your lifting, comment down below, let me know. Otherwise I'm just going to think I'm a freak. Hopefully if I keep my abdomen stretched by staying in anterior tilt, it'll stop it. So, anterior tilt and expanding the diaphragm.